Good afternoon. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. This is David Steele, and this is my Kenworth T680, and we're just pulling in to get some service. Okay, so this truck should be familiar to you if you've watched any of my videos. Medium length or medium height, T680 is a 6x2. This is a mid-lift configuration, so the middle axle is currently raised. Let's go ahead and go to my truck configurator because the Cummins X15 Efficiency engine, I've just added that to the Steele Productions Engine pack. So out with the PX9. Let's go here. I guess we'll just disable all of these, and we'll find it. I have a few engines in here. Steele Productions Engine pack like so. Okay. There are a total of 3 engines in this pack. There's the Efficiency 400, this particular beast here. The Efficiency 450. Both of these engines have the same 1650 foot-pounds of torque. Just the 450 has more power. Yeah, long and short are. It's got a bit more torque output higher end. And the 500, which has more torque. And of course more power. I'm going to go with the 400 today. So let's go across here. You know what? Whilst I'm on this screen, actually, I also tweaked the X12. They were a little bit too torquey at the low end. So I've kind of nerfed their low down torque. You likely won't feel much of a difference. Transmission wise, well, Eaton Integrated 10-speed overdrive with a 285. That's probably a reasonable choice for this transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. Let's go ahead and confirm that order. It's done that. How badly damaged is this truck? Not particularly. I've obviously used it a little bit. Got a bit of wear on the tyres especially, but not to worry too much about that. Okay, let's jump back in the truck. Let's go ahead and start it up. I'm going to raise the mid-axle like so. That's the default key is U if you haven't changed it in the game. And let's just turn around. We'll take a look at the map. Let's take a trip today. So the X15 Efficiency then. Peak torque's at 1000 revs. And that's up to about I think it's 1300 RPM for this particular engine. It doesn't rev highly. Its governor is something like 1800 RPM, but you don't need to rev this thing much. You kind of want tall gearing to get the most from it. Let's put the parking brake on. What contracts do I have? Short trip to Fresno. That's a pretty straightforward trip. I mean, it's hard to go wrong. I've turned off navigation. It's hard to go wrong with just Bakersfield to Barstow. I mean, it's one road. Los Angeles is a bit more exciting. Barstow with a heavier load. Los Angeles, that's not a bad run. Chance to get lost. You know what though? I'm just going to stick with the very basic used packaging. This is just to kind of showcase the engine just a little bit. And yeah, we'll go ahead and pick that one up. It's going to earn me $4,000. Not a lot, but it'll be fine. So we're using the Eaton Integrated in fully automatic mode. Now where do I have to go to collect this? Okay, that's not hard to find. Just the other side of is that 5 or 99? 99. Okay. Yeah, so it's not going to be a difficult trip to make. Using the gearbox in automated mode, which is how it's designed. And let's just take it out. So, stock sounds. If you're expecting non-standard sounds, I am sorry to disappoint you. This is what we've got. But you didn't come here for the sounds, right? That would be a Z-Mods engine. Yeah, I guess I could voice this engine with Z-Mods X15. I might do that on a different video, but for now I want to stick with the stock sounds. If you download the Steele Productions Engine pack, this is what you will be getting. As you see, the transmission's tuned to shift up 13 to 1400 RPM. That's about 1375 there. Let's just tell it to do that under cruise resume. Yep, it's not going to change up to 10th. It's hard to get, hard to tune that just right. So I've kept it as it stands. I've got to manually shift it into 10th. If I let it shift itself into 10th, it has a habit of sticking to the higher gears for just a little bit too long, and I don't really like that. Let's kill the power. A bit of engine brake. So it will downshift when you use the engine brake. That's by design. This the X15, it has a decent engine brake in it, but downshifting is very, very useful. Let's just negotiate here, turn in a little late, but there we go. So why go with the X15 versus the X12? So all being equal, the X12 should be a more efficient engine. And you can get the X12 with a 410 horsepower and a 455 horsepower. Well, two main reasons. The first one is that low down torque. The X15 has more of it. And whilst looking at this, I realised I'd overstated the low down torque of the X12. It's a great engine. It's a little less great, but still very handy to use. So that's the first reason. If you want low down torque, especially if you're going to drive it manually, you'll notice quite a big difference. And the second reason is the engine brake. It's a lot better in the X15. You have more of an engine acting as a brake. So if you're heavy hauling, you might find that the X12 can move it, but for engine brake purposes, the X15 is a lot better. I kind of bumped into that, but there we go. Okay. Quick check on the map. Get back on the 99, and it's a very short stint up to Fresno, and I think, yeah, we've got to take this exit here. This will not take me long at all. And that's good, because if you see my driver, 2 hours and he needs to take a break. So, alright, let's get it on the move. Still with the short shifting there. You know what? I'm gonna drop the mid axle like so. There we go. Probably shouldn't do that on the move. It's not good for tires. It'll scrub it, but it. My bad. It's a mistake. I pay for the tires anyway. I'm an owner operator, so I'll tolerate this. Electric charging point. Okay. Alright, so we turn left here and then almost immediately right back onto the 99. So my trip is showing 9 miles per gallon. I've got half a tank. I'm not gonna reset the trip computer. We'll calculate that once we get there. It does say stop. I'm expecting it somewhere about 7-ish for this trip, if I'm gentle, and I'm planning on being gentle. You might expect about 6 from the X15, so it's a reasonable improvement. That's an X15 with the normal game transmission. This integrated transmission's nice and tall. It's about 1050 RPM at 55. That makes a difference. Anyway, let's tap resume on cruise. Take us up to 55 at full throttle. Clear on the left. So, no ball of fire, but this thing has certainly adequate acceleration. We're in 9th. We're pulling through 45. It's just over 1,000 RPM. It's now 1,100 and maybe 50, 1,200 revs. It's great for the kind of efficient hauling that you want to do. And with this being in California, yeah, you probably want to save the trees whilst you're at it. I'm going to shift it up into top at just below 55. There we go. And for the most part, that's pretty much all you're going to be watching for the coming few minutes, is me cruising at 55, bouncing over the side of the road. In terms of character, the 450 is identical at lower engine speeds. It has a bit more in the mid-range, so when you change down to go up a gradient, it feels like it's got a lot more going for it. In terms of efficiency, it's about the same. Theoretically, the 450 will use a bit more power, but a bit more fuel even, but in practice there's not that much in it. If anything, it's probably kinder on diesel. Let's go to this view, I think, so I can see where I'm coming up to it. Okay. So 7 hours of real world time to get there, and an hour of game time before I start to get fined. I think I'll be okay. Now the 500, that is something else. That yeah, it's an 1850 foot-pound of torque engine, so that feels good. That feels a lot more suitable for the heavy haul stuff. It's got a lot more grunt. Similar power curve. Sits kind of somewhere between the two. It's an enjoyable engine to work. It can be thirstier. With the right gearing and a modest payload, you can use slightly less diesel with the 500 horsepower version, because you don't have to. It won't shift down as much, or it won't need to if you drive it manual. Automated, there's really not that much in it. There goes the tire in this thing. This thing is bouncing around quite a bit, but no problem holding on to 55 and top, and as I say from earlier on, it's just over 1,000 revs. Fuel consumption's dropped to 8.8. Well, I think it'll go up a little bit. What time was it? It's 5. I guess I'll put my lights on. See if I can manage to not crash while doing this. Yep, lights are on. I'm still almost crashing. It's quick, get back in the front. There we go. Is this my exit already? Nope, not yet. So where would you use the X15 over the X12? I talked about heavy haul. You, as a character thing, may not want to install the X12 into the Peterbilt 389 or the Kenworth W900s. With this mod, you can, and I have, and I've enjoyed it immensely. But you might decide you want to go with a 15-litre engine, and that's perfectly understandable. For something like the T680 or the Peterbilt 579, in some respects, the smaller engine is a bit more in keeping with the ethos behind it. But I don't think it's particularly bad to go with, let's just turn my engine brake on, to go with the X15 either. If you're trying to appeal to drivers, you might want to entice them with a 15-litre engine, even if it's only 400 horsepower. There is quite a bit more torque for if you're using a manual shift. Looks good on the left. Let's just check on the right. Yep, it's good on the right. Okay. This engine works pretty well with an automatic too. With all that low down torque, it'll shift nice and early, and that's a good thing. Okay. Just tap my cruise to 45 and just let it get me up there. I'm probably going to make it just do 35. Speed limit switches to 30 just around the corner. Yeah, let's go with 30. 35 even. Try shifting up to 9th. No. It's a little too slow for 9th gear at 35 miles an hour. Now, let's play around with it. I think it'll do 40. Of course, this is killing my mileage. Yeah, and the light should turn to green any second. Any second now. Come on, turn to green. It dropped to 35, but not 30. Okay, I avoided stopping, but Still had to almost stop. Just feather this thing up to 35, give or take. And the light goes. Okay. A little bit of service brake then. Let's see if I can manage to get this thing to stop gently. We'll see. It's definitely a skill, which I have maybe mastered. Hard to say. This game is beautiful. Sun is starting to go down. Where's the traffic though? Okay, we're off. I'll keep the camera at the drive-by for a few seconds. And then wheel cam. Yeah, enjoy this game. Okay, jump back into the cabin. So let me see. That'll be me getting fined for staying up late. I gotta turn left here. And the light's just gone to red on me again. Huh. Oh, there's a yellow Volvo. I wonder if that's one of my fleet. Just trickle here. So I can make it smooth. And that is smooth enough. More or less. Look at the way the light's reflecting on that glass. If we were in convoy mode, I would have hit that Prius. Allegedly. Few seconds, come on. Longest traffic light ever. Oh, thank you. Okay. So you see how it went first, second for like a half second, and jumped up to third. That's extremely difficult for me to tune that out. I've had some success, but it's not consistent. So right now, if you're carrying a heavy load, it may move you off in second gear. If you're empty, it's typically third. So if you're driving this manual, you probably wouldn't with this particular gearbox, but if you were, it'll move off fine in second gear most of the time. So it's just up here on the left. I happen to know Fresno in the game really well, so I don't need the map particularly. After the station wagon, we'll turn left. There we go. I don't feel like doing the difficult parking, but we'll find out. We'll see how difficult it really is. It's probably right next to the wall, and that's not something I really want to do, but let's take a look. Oh, it's not. But I don't feel like doing that. You know what? I will go ahead and do the difficult parking maneuver. Let's pull it close to the wall. It's probably going to make a mistake because I'm getting overconfident. Okay. So with 1,000 foot-pounds, it's the clutch engagement torque. Basically, at 800 RPM, give or take, it's got 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. That compares with 800 for the X12. There we go. So on the numbers side, that's one reason why the X15 is a quote better choice. It's just a different choice. Right, 110 miles and 16 gallons. That is maybe a little heavier than I hoped. That's just under 7 to the gallon. That's sort of 6.8, 6.9. But it's close enough, and it is a short trip. So there you have it. That's the Cummins X15 Efficiency, available in 3 different power levels right now. It's available in the Steele Productions Engine pack. I will leave a link down below. I used the real Eaton Fuller transmissions with this engine. I'll leave a link to that too. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and you know what to do if you have. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.